I rest my case.
No, I meant.
Hey, Israel's at war. Maybe the rapture is here. And we looked at the top. You know, they're kind of like heavyweight Nah. But the fall wasn't nice.
Right.
But so there was there was a much softer, and you could get it like quite large if you wanted to. But it definitely would show off the traps a little bit and didn't have quite a cut.
It was like the thick one was like a, you know, those
it's just
like
the neck
double folded.
Yeah, and the neck's really
Yeah.
It's really
and
just
they always
circle.
stretch because you put it over here.
Oh, is anyone between their 20s yet?
I'm tomorrow. I'll be 20.
Tomorrow?
So yeah.
Okay, well,
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
in a month.
Shit, I'm going.
I'm in the 20-year-old Bible
You got me a present from the Victorian Open. I thought that was my birthday. So
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's okay. There you go. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a lot of life experience.
Yes, I'm sure you're very mature. Well, you are very mature.
I've never been so lazy.
Here.
I come here, I go home, I eat, sit in my bed and play PlayStation, absorb the games, then go walk my dog and then come back here and work.
Also, I can't decide if I want to work here again next year for work placement or go work at the Cats.
Yeah, I should go with the cats.
You get more life experience.
Yeah, more life experience. By the time
I
you're
would
19,
get
you'll have
to
lots.
see it all
And I-
again, to like every Monday as well. I have to see them.
I mean, you can come do both.
Yeah, I could. Maybe I
You'll be
just
making bank if you do both. You'll be making a solid $20 a week.
like.
Ultimate protein shake, high protein milk, 3 scoops of protein, shake, done. It's like 180 grams of protein.
Yeah.
You can smell that in like 10 seconds.
But like,
It doesn't get better.
it was really shit. Coconut water.
The milk was not horrible. It just kind of makes you uncomfortable that it's not like sparkling.
Okay, fancy. You did go to Christian Holy.
You just put like a bit of like you either put coconut water in your soda stream.
I sent you the video of the guy who soda streamed milk.
In America, they drink Italian sodas, and I'm like, that's weird.
That's
Like
weird.
soda in the actual like body of the trolley.
Of course.
And
That's
so
where I put all my chips all the time.
I got in, and the trolley starts rolling towards the curb, and just then obviously it tips over.
Yeah.
And I like leap out just as it's tipping. So I survived. But
Survived. I just survived. There was like a condolences thing. I had to put an article on me in the paper to make sure no one knew that I died. It was that dramatic. It's basically an Indian plane crash. It's like basically, I'm the one survivor. That's why I always sit in a seat in 11A. You know, that's why that guy survived. DMZ.
It sounds yeah.
What else would you use?
Clarifies a
Protein
lot.
control.
It really does.
Have you
All of them. All of those ones.
But everything's just going to take forever now.
Yeah, until that's uploaded. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
No, not forever.
Like a normal one or a me one? Like a normal one or a me one?
Okay, here we go. Today we are doing Brehm, which is 4 time, 10 rope climbs, 15 feet, 20 back squats, 100 kilos, 102 kilos for fellas, 70 for ladies, 30 handstand push-ups, and a 40-calorie row. U.S. Army Sergeant Dale G. Brehm, 23, of Turlock, California, assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, based in Fort Lewis, Washington, died on March 18, 2006, when he came under small arms fire from enemy forces during combat operations in Ar Ramadi, Iraq. Survived by his wife, Raini, father, William, stepmother, Linda, and mother, Laura Williams. First posted May 14th, 2013. We've got quite a few of us today. Glenn, Tamara, Serena, Tom. Michaela's in the corner, being coach. Glenn's doing some mods. Should be fun.
I said you can get the work.
Thank you, Brehm. Best wishes to his family and wife.